All right, we just had a really good introduction on air masses and fronts. Today we're going to go over both of those and kind of solidify the understanding and review a little bit of what we're going over. And I'll also kind of talk about the rest of your packet, how to do that. So air masses, this is an air mass map. Notice we have red near the equator and blue air masses over the polar regions. Remember, an air mass is a body of air that has nearly the same temperature and humidity. Humidity is how much moisture is in the air. And we learned that an air mass is named by where it's located. If it's over water, it's a maritime. If it's over land, it's a continental. If it's near the polar regions, then we add the word polar. And if it's near the equator, it's called tropical. So notice these abbreviations. What do you think those letters stand for? Notice all the ones over water start with an M. All the ones over land start with a C. All the ones that are red near the equator have a T at their second letter, where all the ones that are near the polar regions have a P. So that's just the abbreviations for the name. So this, right, would be a maritime tropical. This would be a maritime polar air mass, which we learned about. Let's talk about fronts. When we have two air masses meet, when they come together, we create what we call a front. A front, we have two air masses that have different characteristics, and they don't exactly mix. One air mass will be lifted above the other, which will then create a low pressure zone. If the lifted air is moist, there's going to be some precipitation. As we cause that moisture to rise, remember, it will cool down and condense, and then gravity will pull it back down. Fronts are the main cause of stormy weather. There are 4 types of fronts. 3 of the fronts are moving fronts. 1 is a stationary front. With cold fronts and warm fronts, the air masses at the leading edge of the front gives the front its name. In other words, a cold front is right at the leading edge of the moving air. So let's look. So this is a cold front. Here we have some warm air, a warm air mass. And then we have this cold front moving in. Remember, because the cold molecules want to move. Always goes from an area of high pressure to low pressure. So this would be a cold front because we have the cold air mass pushing and moving in. A cold front is when a cold air mass takes the place of a warm air mass. The cold air mass slides beneath because it's heavier, more dense. So it's going to slide and push and go underneath and push all this warm, moist air up, causing clouds to form. If there's enough moisture, that's where we'll get the precipitation. The map symbol for a cold front is blue triangles, and the triangles point the direction that the front is moving. At the front, so here's our front, this line at the front, there will be a line of rain showers or snow showers or thunderstorms, lots of wind. Behind the front is a cold air mass. This air mass is dry, so the precipitation will stop. The weather will be cold and clear or just partly cloudy. Our next one is a warm front. A warm front, warm air mass slides over. Remember, it's less dense, so it can't push the cold air up because it's less dense. So it's actually going to kind of come and go over the cold front. When warm air moves over the colder air, the temperature is relatively stable. The symbol for a warm front is the little red half circles. So think of kind of like a half sun, nice and warm. Where the cold, think of icicles. And just like the triangles, the half circles point the direction that the front is moving. When we get a warm front coming, you're going to see a warm front coming long before the actual front reaches you. So if you were a person right here standing on the surface of the earth, you're going to see all these clouds start forming in the sky. It's kind of like watching a thunderstorm come in. You're going to see all these clouds start to gathering up above you because that warm air is being pushed up as it is coming in. The transition from cold air to warm air takes place over a long distance. So the first signs of changing weather appear long before the front's actually over you. First, the air's going to be cold because you're still right in the cold front because our warm front's getting up here. First, the air is cold. The cold air mass is above you, and the warm air mass is high above it. High clouds mark the transition from one air mass to the other. Over time, the clouds become thicker. As the front approaches, clouds appear and the sky turns gray. In wintertime, you're going to start seeing snow. In summertime, you're going to start to see rain and precipitation or maybe even thunderstorms. The winds will increase as the front approaches. The cold mass is just above us, but the warm mass, right, as it moves, is not going to be too far. The weather will get worse. As the warm air mass approaches, temperatures rise and if it was snowing, it'll turn to sleet, freezing. Warm and cold air mix at the front, leading to the formation of clouds and fog. Our next one we're going to talk about is a stationary front. A stationary front is the air masses don't move. They become stationary. So it's kind of like we have two air masses going the opposite direction and they come and they meet each other. And they're not moving. If the air mass is stopped by a barrier, which could be like a big mountain range, which we have, a stationary front may bring quite a few days of rain or fog. Winds usually blow parallel to the front, but in opposite directions, meaning we might have the wind blowing this way on this side of the front, where over here we have the wind blowing on this opposite direction at the front. After several days, the front will likely break apart. The weather at a stationary front are going to be a lot of clouds or a long period of precipitation because we don't have the front moving. So we're going to have a few days of that precipitation or lots of clouds for a while until that stationary front can break apart. The stationary front is indicated in a map by the red warm circles and the blue cold triangles, and they go in opposite directions. Now, a purple is what we call an occluded front. An occluded front will usually form around a low pressure system. The occlusion starts when a cold front catches up to the warm front. The air masses in order from front to back are cold, warm, and then cold again. So notice we have it. So this is where the cold front caught up to the warm front. And so now we have these two fronts moving together in the same direction. That's why they're pointing in the same direction. The weather at an occluded front is especially fierce right at the occlusion, right where that cold front catches up to the warm front. You're going to have precipitation and shifting winds are typical. The front is going to produce rain and gusty winds is what we're going to have in an occluded front. But again, remember, an occluded front is going to have severe thunderstorms. All right, so hopefully that's a good review, kind of helping you about all the fronts. Now you're going to do the card sort activity, and I'll kind of show you a little bit how to do that activity and then how to do the rest of your packet.